So in this video, I'm going to break down this very successful branded VSL running on YouTube, 27 million views, generated 8 figures in revenue and in recurring revenue, because this is a subscription product. It's a supplement that's taken and it's for a real brand. They're building up a real big, solid brand called Organifi, a supplement brand. So let's just dive in. I'm going to play the video, and meanwhile, I have a structure and a breakdown of how they did this video, why it works so well. So let's get into it. So the first is, that's the hook right there. See the bright brain full of activity, engaging, attention grabbing, interesting visual, and relevant, because we're talking about brain. So you're immediately, that's a call out. If the language you're using is a call out. If you mention the problem, the topic, anything, one, the algorithm picks up on that and shows it to people interested in those keywords. And two, your viewer picks up on that either subconsciously or consciously. That's a healthy 18-year-old brain. Mine is the other one, 55 years old and getting dimmer all the time. So this is the call out right here. This is describing the target avatar and calling them out indirectly, because again, this is branded. It's very compliant and very brand friendly the way they write this copy. So that's why I'm very excited to break this down for you. So instead of saying, do you feel like your brain is getting dimmer all the time? Accusatory, which can be higher conversions, but they're not going to really be coming back if you're selling them by attacking them. But this way, personal and having a spokesperson is a very powerful way to indirectly call them out and allow the viewer to project themselves onto the spokesperson. So they look at, the music is sad and somber. The visuals are dark and dim. You can even see there's like a gray lighting. And you'll see later in the video, it becomes bright and, very nice. But here the lighting is very dim. So they're really building up that sadness, the agitation. So we're giving them the problem and agitating it. And we're using their language. We're meeting the viewer where they're at. Remember, when you want to write a lead, the number one thing to remember is meet the viewer where they're at. When you write a hook, it's curiosity in a form within context. That's how I call it. Curiosity within context. It's something engaging and strange, but within the realm of either the problem or the topic or the avatar. And then in the lead, you want to meet them where they're at. Use their language, the way they view their problems, and how it's affecting their life. So this is the kind of stuff that people with cognitive decline say. You can go on forums, you could find this. I was scared about what's happening to me. It must be very scary for this to happen to you. What else would I lose? Where would my mind end up? I bet you they use tools to scrape a bunch of forums, and these phrases came up very often. So now we've agitated the problem. Now they're interested, they're called out, and they're agitated. They're in an emotional state. So this is a negative emotional state that they created here. It's not super intense. It's not super aggressive. It's subtle, but it is a negative emotional state using lighting, sound, and language. And now we're going to switch from the despair into hope by giving them our product. So this is very clever how they do this. Now we get into the product intro. Okay, so the product intro. This is a very concise and powerful VSL. Each section here is just a few sentences, but again, 27 million views. The results don't lie. This is a high 7 or 8 figure generating VSL, and a brand friendly one. So not only did they generate maybe 7, 8, $9 million in sales, they also built, just with this ad, they probably added 7 figures to their brand value, like millions of dollars to the value of their brand, because this is a brand friendly VSL. And when you add revenue and profit in a brand friendly way, you're raising the value of your business. When you're doing it in an aggressive way, you just get cash. You're just using your business as a cash cow, which is completely fine. But you're not going to build that exit value as much as if you're using brand friendly stuff. So let's go over the product intro real quick. Then something happened that changed everything. So a transition phrase, we're going to snap them out of the despair and change them into a new state of mind, a more positive and open state of mind. So remember, we primed them with a negative emotion. Now we're going to give them the solution to that emotion that we created. I found a way to open up my brain and feel the rush of limitless possibility. So you see, this is a soft claim. They're not saying I found a way to stop my cognitive decline. I found a way to heal my memory loss. They're not making these bold, overt claims like that. They're using emotional language. They're creating an image in the viewer's mind. And that's on the viewer. We're not telling them what to think by saying this will heal this problem. We're telling them in an emotional and subtle way, I opened up my brain, the rush of possibilities. And the image they get is I'm going to heal myself, I'm going to have better memory, better cognitive function, but it's not overtly stated. And then we give them the name of the product, Organifi Pure, and it's unbelievable. We frame it as a very positive thing, very powerful. And the compounds inside are backed by neuroscientists, health experts, and hundreds of research studies. So boom, a ton of proof elements right there. And now we're going to switch into mechanisms. How does it work? So first, the hook, who you are, the lead, why you are, the problem you're having, then the the solution, what the solution is, and the mechanisms, how the solution works, or why your problem is happening. So it's solution mechanism and problem mechanism. Mhm. So the mechanism that makes this entire product in VSL work is this BDNF, those four letters. That's the problem mechanism and the solution mechanism. And the way you do that is because if you don't have enough of it, it's the problem mechanism. When you have enough of it, it's the solution mechanism. The solution mechanism really is neurofactor, but BDNF is like the fulcrum around which everything revolves. It's like the axis of the whole mechanism. So let's just go over this real quick. What were these compounds helping me do? This is intriguing in an open loop. See things, think things I'd lost, a benefit, a promise. It came down to four letters, B, D, and F. Very simple. If you don't know what that is, neither did I. Very friendly and relatable and building rapport. And then notice, I don't know if you can hear the audio. I don't think you can hear the audio of the video, but I mean, I've linked the video in this document, which I'm putting in the description. So I highly encourage you to watch this to see what they do with sound and visual, because it's very powerful and it's very advanced video editing stuff that I like a lot. And this is how you film a brand VSL, a big time winning VSL that you can run in a big business and make a lot of money and build a real brand. So when he gets to here, to the product intro, the music switches, the lights get brighter. He's smiling now. He's dressed better. The people around him are, more engaged with him, whereas before he was isolated, right? So these are all subtle things that are building the emotion. These brand VSLs, as you get bigger businesses, the ads become less direct response and more subtle emotions. And this is a great example of kind of a middle ground between direct response and brand advertising. These are my favorite type of ads. I love this. And this is very powerful. What I call fogginess was really a BDNF deficiency. What I called back pain was really a spinal compression problem. What I called chronic migraines was really a XYZ chemical or supplement deficiency. So this is a very nice way to frame the problem mechanism as the real root cause and change their mind from, no, you're not suffering from XYZ problem, you're suffering from problem mechanism. And that's exactly what the product helped me fix. Inside this glass is a compound called solution mechanism, which has been shown by clinical trials, so proof, to improve BDNF as much as 260%. Now we're going to switch over to the dream outcome. So you see he's smiling, he's laughing, he's interacting with people, bright lights, dressed well, great music, upbeat. Again, emotion. And remember, so we went from somber and kind of building a lot of tension, right? Where we've got the viewer hooked in with a strong hook and a strong lead, but we're building that negative emotional tension just for a few seconds. And then we transition to the positive. So we help them to feel the problem that they already have. We bring it up to the surface, really is what it is, and then we give them the solution while the problem is up at the surface, because that's when they take action. When you bring the problem up to the level of awareness. I wouldn't say conscious awareness because it's not analytical. There's no analytical process going on as much as if they're just sitting down talking about their problem with an expert. It's more so it comes up to their awareness, and it's a little bit subtle, but it's up there. It comes from deep in the subconscious mind, and using the sounds, the music, the dim lights, the somber music, the call out language, the emotionally charged language that triggers these things in their mind. The problem comes up, and the problem situation comes up, and the experience of the problem comes up into their conscious awareness or semi-conscious awareness, and then that's when you take action, because now you're starting to feel the emotions of that problem, and then they're giving you the solution in a very positive way. The dream outcome in just 3 sentences: it's how I unlocked my full potential. Very soft, compliant claim, because it's not overtly saying you're going to heal your mind. It's going to say, it's talking more about the emotional experience of using the product, which is you unlock your full potential. I went from decline to the best I've ever been. And that's, again, very soft. It's not saying I went from cognitive decline to, you know, 50% increase in cognitive function. It's soft, it's gentle, it's emotional, it's subtle, and it allows the viewer to come to their own conclusions. That's the difference between aggressive direct response and branded white hat brand value, enterprise value direct response, is that you allow the viewer to come to their own conclusions. You just set the stage with the emotionality, and because the algorithm will find the right people, the emotionality will bring up the right things in the viewer. They're going to react and respond the way that you want them to. So you can lead them down a funnel without overtly like telling them what to do. And it's like, instead of aggressive direct response would be like dragging someone by a leash, this is more like, I don't know, maybe using some kind of treat, like if we're doing a dog analogy, using a treat to entice them rather than forcing them down by overt claims and directions. So let's continue to see. So that, I don't know if that was on purpose. The don't forget. They say don't forget. That's subtle. It could be like a kind of a NLP thing because we're talking about cognitive decline and the way he really emphasizes that with a pause. But maybe I'm reading too much into it. It's interesting in this CTA they don't tell you to click a button, because this may have been for a TV spot, or it may have been for multiple like TV spots and YouTube and other rectangular formats. But usually, if you're doing a social media ad, you generally want to call out, you want to call action to the in app or the in feed CTA button rather than telling them to go to your website, because it will just have a higher click through rate and less drop off. But regardless, the button is going to be on screen when this is an ad. Of course, right now this is the embedded video, but when you see the ad, the button pops up on screen, probably somewhere around where they have this call out. So it's a very simple close. Go to, or you can replace this with click the button or take this action and try the product. So it's not just saying go to the thing and whatever. It's telling you take the action, try the product, and the guarantee is there: 60 days risk free, 60-day satisfaction guarantee. So risk reversal, social proof. You get the support of tens of. So it's not saying join tens of thousands of others who have used our product. It's saying you get their support. So it's implying that thousands of people have used this and you get the support of it. So that's a pretty powerful way to frame social proof. Don't decline another day. That's kind of like a very miniature crossroads close. I like that a lot. Don't decline another day. It's subtle, but it's emotional. And usually, right at the CTA, you want to kind of give a little poke, an emotional poke, to get them to take action. Repeating the instructions again. Because again, the viewers have cognitive decline. They might forget what kind of CTA to take. So very powerful VSL overall. It's subtle. It uses emotion. I've broken it down into a basic structure that you can use for your own branded VSLs. The thing with branded VSLs is that the win rate will be lower because it really depends on, you got to tap into that vein of emotional thinking in the subconscious mind. But once you tap in, you get a 27 million view ad, which is a 7 or 8 figure ad, and probably a 9-figure company. And a few of these ads will build a real big business that you can sell, or you can just generate lots of recurring revenue and cash from, because you're building real customer relationships. So check out the structure. In the description, you'll also find my huge swipe file with 200 VSLs from the top brands, 60 advertorials, mostly e-commerce advertorials, and 40 brands, direct response e-commerce brands to swipe from. And you'll also find my social medias if you want to get in contact with me. The best way is to DM me on Instagram if you have any questions or anything you're interested in talking about. All right. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and take it easy. Peace.